Smart 24, driving business.
The Minister of State for Privatization and Investment, Honorable Evelyn Anite, has echoed the essence of business transformation for the small and medium enterprises to attain full economic growth, as graduate entrepreneurs were equipped with market-oriented training as they anticipate the volatile entrepreneurial market.
The different people in the parishes will be the one to choose the enterprises they want to do. And now that they're giving them financial literacy and they're skilling them on how they should do it in a more hygienic way and be able to sell in the domestic market and in the external market, this is just perfect, because capital is available, first of all, in the banks, but most importantly, in the parish development model, in their various parishes, they do not have to be given different enterprises to do. They already have their enterprises, they just have to go and borrow the capital to be able to expand on their enterprises.
The State Minister further expressed the availability of a lending facility of up to 1 million Ugandan shillings funding from the President through various banks. Besides post-bank, financial players such as UDB, Centenary Bank, Housing Finance will aid the establishment of such ventures with a grace period of 4 years, a push to recover from COVID-19.
Because the President during COVID said small people like you, not those ones, the one who have factories, the small ones like you, we should come with the fund rescue. Because COVID, when it came, they sent all of us home. All of us, the businesses closed, isn't it? Now that the businesses are opened, our economy is recovering. He has put this money. He put it in Post Bank, UDB, Centenary Bank, DFCU, Housing Finance, but he has said part of it should be given to the small, actually micro companies like you. And the lowest you can borrow is like 500,000.
With the partnership, value addition for raw materials such as tomatoes to ketchup, mangoes to juice, and through qualities such as strictness and hygiene to ensure production of quality and safety shall be key to business growth. One of the graduate entrepreneurs mentions how this opportunity has been eye-opening.
The costs, how to calculate the costs and how to price a product when you've not made losses. To me, I've been working in losses, yet I've been in business. I've been practicing for 2 years because probably I didn't get this knowledge. But this opportunity has given me knowledge, understanding. I've learned a lot. So I'm really thankful, Madam.
However, it's still debatable how the SME market products can reap big, putting all the production factors such as capacity building, market value, among others, into consideration.
The materials and everything. But this training don't stop there. Today, for instance, in Kampala, we had a financial literacy session where we talked about financial literacy, and some of those issues came up. So apart from the technical training, costing within the factory, there are other costs outside the factory, like transportation, there's airtime, there's staff. So we have tried to give a 360-degree training that can support these businesses to not only be strong in the agro-value addition area, but also in the business management area.
Meanwhile, Postbank confirms its commitment towards supporting the establishments to realize their market agenda, expansion and growth.
Continue with the journey until they are firm enough, and this is very important for sustainability.
Review of fiscal year 2021-2022, which the NDP3 dominated, although being severely hampered by the COVID-19, was presided over by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Honorable Rukia Nakadama, Uganda's Deputy Prime Minister, reminded the development organizations of the NDP3's goals, which are consistent with the topic of this year, of positioning the Development Plan Implementation Program for effective and efficient delivery of NDP3 results.
The DPI program institutions to reflect on how we individually, as institutions and collectively, should contribute to the DPI program to make it effective in its implementation. This is particularly important because our role is that of enabling all other NDP3 programs to deliver effectively and efficiently on the mandate and ultimately the NDP3 results. It therefore is appropriate to take off time under this review to reflect on our program's actions and achievements against the targets we set at the beginning of the financial year 2021-2022.
Amos Lugolobi, the Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, claims that National Development Plan 3 will have to change its goals because the pandemic had a significant impact on it.
The remaining 2 years, we accelerate the implementation of the interventions identified within the NDP 3 to ensure that we actually attain the goals that we aspired to achieve by the end of the plan. And I think we are here to try and see how we are restoring growth. So far we are doing quite well in terms of revenues. We have started rebounding because we are now realizing more revenues than earlier anticipated. Growth projection, we are doing a restoration also from the 3% where we had fallen. And we think that in the near future we should be able to restore the 6% growth of the economy.
Supplemental budgets have historically caused the budget's arrangement to become distorted, but the ministry is instructed to avoid using them until the economy has fully recovered.
Supplementary budgets, of course, it had become one of the ways of budgeting, which is wrong. You know, we are saying that these supplementaries disrupt our programs, the program that Parliament has approved. You know, to ensure that we do not disrupt the appropriation that has been granted by Parliament, we want to make sure that we limit the supplementaries to issues like disasters, emergencies, issues that have not been foreseen and that we cannot avoid in our budget.
The Uganda Vision 2040 aims at transforming the Ugandan society from a peasant to a modern and prosperous society. This National Development Plan, NDP, is the third in the series of 6 NDPs that will guide the nation and deliver the aspirations of the people of Uganda. Aims to build the progress made, learn lessons from the planning and implementation experiences of NDP 1 and NDP 2, and also to seek surmount some of challenges encountered. At the end of its implementation, the country will be halfway through Vision 2040, 30 years time frame.
The Parish Development Model Program, which is modeled after the National Development Plan 3 programs, aims to improve 39% of household income by allocating 100 million to each parish. According to Herbert Henderson, the Deputy Resident Commissioner for Ruaga Division, the targeted beneficiaries are not receiving government services, according to reports he has received. After receiving numerous reports that the funding for the parish model was being simply swallowed by large names, Burora discontinued the parish development initiatives.
This is therefore to inform the general public that effective Monday, the following will either lawfully or unlawfully be heeded to. Apart from health services, which are hospitals, road cleaners, market masters, and garbage collection, the rest are not going to be allowed to work on condition that the executive director herself, the minister herself, come to Rubaga and sort these issues at hand.
He advised Dorothy Kisaka, the KCCA Executive Director, not to be so adamant about these matters since it would irritate President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Getting justice, it is because they have either lost it or the injustices committed on them have gone overboard. So it is far-reaching that even the fact that the RCC comes out to say this, it is alarming. If it was not to that magnitude. So it is true, and on this, I want to take the blame as a leader that certainly some of us have not done what it is required to defend the people, but also to stand in the line of their services they require. So it is far-reaching, it is impacting, it is so heavy on them.
Additionally, he asserts that he has repeatedly made an effort to get in touch with the executive director of the Kampala Capital City Authority before the situation gets worse. The executive director, Kampala Capital City Authority, Dorothy Kisaka, says that the Parish Development Model Program is at a verification stage. Samuel Kirimonda interacted with her on issues regarding the Parish Development Model, whether should be suspended in Ruaga Division, as she revealed.
But at that stage we haven't got to it yet. Well, right now we're in verification of enterprises and all those processes. Money hasn't come yet.
He said that the PDM program should be suspended in Ruaga.
That's the decision that comes from the PDM coordinator, national coordinator, who is called Mr. Galaruzi, Honorable Galaruzi. It is not a decision that I make as ED.
Naomi Mutumba and Samuel Kirimonda, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
During the launch of the second national strategy for private sector growth, private sector experts claims that it is necessary to strengthen infrastructure and other tactics like maintaining standards in order to acquire more market share from other nations that Ugandan businesses haven't yet taken advantage of.
To create export processing zones, free zones in those areas so that they can boost capacity. When we went to Kinshasa, we noticed that a lot of their imports were coming from Brazil, Turkey, Egypt, of goods that in our view were inferior in terms of quality, in terms of taste and all that kind of thing. But if we can create a special purpose vehicle, especially in the area of air cargo, that can be boosted 3, 4, 5 times. Yeah.
According to monthly merchandise trade statistics bulletin April 2022 released by Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in February 2022, formal exports to the East African community increased by 9.2% to $113.8 million, accounting for 39.3% of the total formal exports, compared to $104.2 million registered in January 2022. In order to maintain that speed, therefore, according to the Executive Director, Private Sector Foundation, Stephen Asimwe, inefficiencies like multiple bottlenecks that cause perishables to spoil must be eliminated.
Conference is that competitiveness is about efficiency. The fact that a truck which is destined for export of perishables, or vegetables, or flowers, or fruits, to the UK or whatever market out of Uganda can be affected by a traffic officer stopping that truck that is destined. 1, it is impacting on the perishability. 2, on the efficiency of us being able to reach the airport on time. 3, I will miss my flight if I am exporting something, and I will miss my cargo flight because of the various roadblocks that could have impacted. So we want whatever we have learned in this conference to be translated down to the farmer, to the local government guy, to the RDC, to the cow, or whoever it is that is responsible for managing some of these inefficiencies that can affect export.
Export earnings from European Union increased by 8.7% to $60.0 million in February 2022 compared to $55.2 million received in January 2022. However, there has been an alarm that over $200 million are being lost from the European market due to failure to comply with high standards. Otherwise, Uganda could do better than that.
Which is competitive if it can export more than it can import. That's a very good definition of competitiveness of the economy. Anchoring this definition so that we understand exactly what are we talking about when I'm dealing with this topic. Can our economy export more than we're importing? And later on towards the end, be able to show you what the situation is now, so that from that situation, we should be able to anchor ourselves to do what is necessary for us to reverse that situation in terms of the trade deficit that we have with our economy.
Stop giving responsibility of the quality of our products to external people. Why are we sending our products and asking them to verify what they are? We have to be able to do that here. So we have to continue investing in our quality infrastructure. There is no running away from that. So we have accredited labs at UNBS, but we have also recognized private labs. We have to increase the
Trade is crucial for economic development in underdeveloped nations like Uganda. However, adopting and implementing global acknowledged and acceptable standards are necessary to increase regional and worldwide trade.
Around 8 million people, or roughly 19% of the population, depend on coffee as their primary source of income, behind only tourism as the second largest source of foreign money in the nation. Uganda's coffee industry is searching for a new international market for its products in order to reduce its dependency on established customers and increase farmer income by giving coffee more value. Accordingly, these are some of the multiple sites in Uganda that see a lot of coffee production, which include Mount Elgon, probably the most famous coffee growing site in the country, western regions where most of Arabica coffee is produced, among others.
But also we have plans to construct to move our quality department from Rugogo. We have land in Ntinda, and we plan also to put there a roastery. This is in addition to existing roasteries like Great Lakes, like Churad in Kabanyoro, which are already doing the roasting. So our focus is really to see how we can do value addition so that our exports move more towards value-added products than before. Fortunately, the British have allowed us to export all the coffees, all products, both green and value-added products. European Union itself has, we have a quota-free access through everything that arms, which allows us to export all the coffees in those markets. Of course, there are non-tariff barriers which are involved, but in principle, they have allowed us to export the coffee and the coffee products.
According to Emmanuel Iyamuleme, MD, UCDA, the stages in the value chain typically take place in consumption markets. Africa has an 11% share of green bean production, a market worth approximately $18 billion at export prices in 2009, and less than 2% share of coffee processing. We need to have value addition for our coffee, but also have the demand. He notes that they are examining domestic and international markets, including China, a rising market with 1.4 billion people.
First of all, to access these markets, you have to meet the quality requirements. Unlike other products, coffee is traded because of its quality. And as a government, we have set up a quality monitoring laboratory, which is ISO certified, That means it is of the highest standard and can access any market, any product which go there, can access any products. We train all the quality assurance officers which work for the private sector exporters. They are trained by UCDA. They have to meet the quality requirements, the standards. We go ahead to train them as two graders. Two graders are those quality assurance officers who are specialized in evaluating the quality of Arabica coffee. We also train the Arab graders who are also the people who are specialized in grading or quality assurance of Robusta coffee. These are very specialized trainings that you go through 22 tests. So it's not that everybody can do it. But as a government, we have invested heavily in staff who can train the private sector, so that any coffee which has been handled through an export company is already of good quality, and will come in to do quality assurance.
Uganda exports most of its coffee to Italy, Germany, Algeria, India, and Sudan. When considering the branding of our coffee, experts think it is important to be known as the origin of Uganda coffee and be cognizant of the current tariff and non-tariff barriers in the global market as a nation and embrace value addition.